Welcome to the Jointery podcast, a podcast where we study the lives of study the lives of two dads trying to find the balance between the families, hobbies and work. This week on the Jointery, we discover...
And I was like, what the fucking happened? He's like, I fought a tree. I'm like, did you lose? He was like, yes.
Let's search for the meaning of life as it has never been witnessed before. The Jointery podcast.
So what's up, man?
Yeah.
How was your week? How's everything going with you, man?
Oh, dude, we're in the middle of spring break, so I could have. Ellie's not here right now. She went to go play with the neighbor girl, and one of the neighbor girls that's in town. But Bubs is here, and I asked him specifically. I'm like, Bubs, can I get some daddy time for? I don't know what you call it. Do you call it daddy time?
Well, when I'm out here in the shop.
Like when you don't want to be around them, what do you call it? Like daddy time?
No, I just tell them, don't bother me.
Oh.
I need an hour. So I went in right now, right before we started, and I said, look, I'm doing the podcast. I need an hour. You guys leave me alone. And they were both like, cool.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If Ellie didn't have a play date, she would be hard to get out of here because she jumped in on Clubhouse earlier today, and like she's like, I want to say hi. And I was like, oh, come on, Ellie, seriously. Like these dudes are like, you know, they don't want to talk to a little kid during the day. Like, even like look, no offense to anybody else's kids, but like, you know, like I don't want to talk to people's kids on Clubhouse. I like to start shit on there. Like, I don't want to get into it with somebody else's kids. So yeah, it's been interesting. So I don't think I'm gonna have any interruptions today, but you never know. I'd say like a 10% chance because like Bubs just doesn't listen. So,
well, I was going to say, Frankie, I guarantee it went in one ear and out the other. So it's highly likely that he'll pop in too.
Was he doing something when you asked?
He was playing with his Legos. I believe he was in the middle of building something, but that doesn't mean anything. It's with him. It's like his attention span's like you. It's like he could be mid build and then squirrel and he's on to something else. You know what I mean? So.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, there is a squirrel outside. Excuse me. I gotta go see what this dude's doing. Yeah, dude, it's been a week. You know, it's been a chaotic week. So, as always, like work has been like that's why I got the dress shirt on today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're looking fancy.
I know. Look, this is my I don't come cheap shirt. So you see me wear this shirt, it's gonna cost you some money.
Yeah.
And anybody who's not watching the video, it's just a button-up shirt. But when I put it on, every button, I'm like, nope, you're going to pay me more. And every closer I get to the top, I'm like, that last button might not even fit that well because the shirt's not that new. But, you know.
Yeah. Do you rock
neck?
The thick neck. Do you rock the sleeves up during business meetings or are you cash?
I like to go business casual. I'll wear some like really nice gym shoes a lot of the time. And then I'll wear jeans with the button-up shirt untucked and the sleeves rolled up, which means
what do really nice gym shoes look like? Does that mean just they're clean? Like, is that what it is?
Like a pair of new Jordans or like a pair of new Air Force Ones, you know, something that looks
okay.
You know, I get a lot of compliments on my sneaker game. Though during COVID, I did not buy a single pair of shoes. So I'm a little not up to speed on the sneaker game. But yeah, so I bust out a nice pair of sneakers
I mean, do you follow sneakers like that closely? Like when new sneakers drop, are you like out there with the sneakerheads trying to get the new pair?
No, I respect it. But I don't. Okay. My brother does, but I don't. I see the but I will go on there and like I'm the guy who's like, let me see what shoes didn't sell that well, right? And like maybe they're on discount or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, those are weird enough for me, and I'll buy those, you know. So, like,
dude, I was just thinking about because we were talking about shoes. You made me think about last week when I asked you about, or was it last week or 2 weeks ago? And I asked you about your favorite shoes, and you mentioned the Back to the Future shoes, and I totally spaced in that moment that I've actually seen those shoes in person. I've held them.
They're real.
Yeah, I know. There was a store out in LA, a sneaker shop, and they were selling. They had one pair of them, and they were selling them, and they were in like a glass case. And when I was doing promotions for the radio station, we did a promotion with them, and so we had to go down and pick up a pair of sneakers, and I saw them in the case, and that's when I found out they were actually real. But it didn't jog my memory last time we talked about it. A couple days later, I remembered like, oh damn, I've actually seen and held those shoes. It's crazy, pretty neat.
Where is your brain during the podcast? Mine's not here. I'm just curious where yours is.
Yeah, it's out on vacation apparently, but I rememred
It's on
a couple days
break.
later. Yeah, spring break, baby. Did you ever spring break? Did you ever do the whole go to Florida or like everybody else does and stuff like that?
I did it. I know I did it my freshman year, which was a crazy trip. So my roommate was like, yo, we're driving to Florida for spring break. And I was like, let's go. My grandparents in Florida. So,
of course.
So like, and he's like, and I didn't even ask like where we're staying or whatever. He just told me who was going. So it was him, my roommate Scott, his buddy Dre, who was like crazy. He's with age, he's not gotten any saner. But like this dude in college got into a fight with a tree and lost. Okay,
a tree? What the hell?
Yeah, dude, he came back with like sticks in his hair and like freaking his hands were cut up. And I was like, what the fucking happened? He's like, I fought a tree. I'm like, did you lose? He was like, yes. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, he also, yeah, the guy was a maniac. He almost knocked me out one time. My roommate's girlfriend, Iris, bought him for his birthday a pair of boxing gloves. And it was like 4 dudes living in the house together, right? Yeah. So of course we started playing like everyone would get one boxing glove and we would just get drunk and punch each other, right? And that escalated into like us trying to box each other. And then my birthday came up and she got me a pair of boxing gloves. And then it was just like every time we were drunk, we would just start boxing. And Dre almost knocked me out one time. He kept like I was fighting him, right? And he kept putting his hands above his head, right? And then I get close to him because he was a little bit taller than me. He would reach out and hit me in the top of the head, and I didn't know how to block it. And he would go, whoop, there it is. And he whacked me like 5 times, and I fell down, and I saw like, I haven't been completely knocked out before, but like I saw like the edge of my vision start to get black, and it was it was like tunneling in on his face, and I shook it off real quick, and I popped him in the face, and he fell over, and then I jumped on him and started beating the crap out of him. I didn't start beating the crap out of him, but I didn't get him back, and then it went from like playful, funny fighting to like,
yes, of course,
oh shit, this is about to get really ugly. And no. What happened was as I popped him in the face, because I remember fucker bit me, right? So
what? Mike Tyson style?
Yeah. So, no, not Mike. He didn't get my ear. I popped him in the face. He stumbled backwards and fell on the couch, right? And his arms flew out to the sides. So I jumped in and pinned his right arm behind my back, and I grabbed his left arm with my left arm. So I had my right arm wide open, and I started punching him in the gut. And then I popped him in the face one time, and I said, give up. And he was like, no. And then I punched him in the balls, right?
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, give up, bitch. And he was like, no. And I kept punching him. I would like alternate between his face and his, like, it was hard to punch him in the nuts because he was sitting down, but
you were making an effort.
But like, I was making, the effort was there. So I was just popping him in the face and popping him in the nuts. And like, he just started freaking out, and he turned towards my left armpit and he bit me, and I jumped up, and then my one roommate grabbed me and he was like, nah, you guys are done. That was it. Like, this was funny until he bit you. I was like, you motherfucker, you bit me. Like,
yeah. It's funny when those fights always start out as fun, you know what I mean? But inevitably somebody gets serious, and then all of a sudden somebody's biting your armpit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Like, like we used to do stuff like where like you throw the other person the gloves and like, let's box. And then like, as they're trying to put the gloves on, you start punching them, Yeah.
So back to spring break. You went on spring break with your buddy.
Oh, yeah. So like, but that's how my relationship was is with Dre. It was like it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
mostly fighting verbally or physically. And so it was Dre, Scott, Scott's girlfriend Iris, and our buddy Matt. And we all drove to Florida together in the back in Dre's mom's minivan. It was like a
Oh, geez.
Town and Country or some one of those things. And
Yeah.
I was fucked up for the night before, so I slept the entire way from Muncie, Indiana to Florida
Oh,
in the way back
geez.
of this thing, right? Yeah, I only slept like 12 hours in the back of this thing. They would like pull over and be like, "We're eating," and I'd wake up, eat, and then go back in the back and pass it back out. And they were like, "How's he sleeping so much?" I'm like, "Fuck this! I'm not gonna be awake for this."
Dude, you would have been a perfect tour guy, man. Like you could sleep anywhere in the back of a bus. Just feed me some food and I'll go back to sleep. Dude, you would have been the perfect tour mate.
That is a talent though that I've lost over the years.
It's funny that like East Coast people, it seems like it's an East Coast thing more than a West Coast thing, like driving down to Florida for the spring break thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely because it's within like for Muncie, Indiana, I think it was like 16 hours or something like that. So
Yeah,
like
we go down to Mexico. That's what we do.
Florida, I think Florida's sketchier than Mexico, but I get it.
Yeah.
No, but dude, so we get down there, right? And we go stay in Miami for a little bit, and then we decide to go down to Key West, and we go down to Key West for a little bit, and like we had a good time, and then on the way back, we were like we're getting ready to leave, and like oddly the news is on, and the news was like there is a massive blizzard that's hitting the East Coast, and we were like, well, fuck it, maybe we could beat it, right?
Yeah.
And like the blizzard had already started, and we're like, maybe we could beat it. Like college
famous
kids.
last word. Yeah, famous last words.
We get ready to leave, right? And we see that the blizzard's coming. We're like, we could beat this. And like, but the blizzard was already started, right? So we're just like, oh shit. So we go and we hit Georgia, like coming up north from Florida. We hit Georgia, and like the roads got really bad really quick. And the state of Georgia had shut down the highways, right? But cars were on the highways, which just basically meant that like they blocked it off, and they were just waiting for snowplows to show up so they could plow and let the cars go through. But like for us, we had heard that they had that Georgia had sold their only 2 snowplows to buy a statue, right? And we're like, of course this is true. Yeah, I mean this is Georgia in the early 90s, or in the 90s. So we're like, it is probably true. I don't know. But we were stranded on the highway without moving for like 8 hours or something like that.
Oh,
right?
Jeez.
But like we didn't move, and like like it was a bad thing. Like a couple people had died because like they were driving from like their house like a couple miles away, and they hopped on the highway, and then the roads closed, and it was like, well, where the fuck do you go? You can't get off the highway. The cars are completely stopped, and they ran out of gas trying to keep their car warm. Right, so a couple old people had passed away, but dude, so we hung a sign on the side of our van that said, please send alcohol, right? And somebody brought us a bottle of like Malibu rum, okay? And it was sucked because like people were coming off of there was a bridge there, and like they were like dropping food to people on the highway, like, oh, you guys are hungry, here's some package of uncooked hot dogs. It's like
oh my god.
Yeah, so we didn't have any food, and like everyone got really cranky. But then the National Guard showed up, and then they were like, okay, like we're gonna get going, and they're like, Luke, do you want to drive? Which they had not let me drive at all at any point.
You were sleeping the whole time. The whole time.
The whole way there, but like when we were there, we were moving around town. Like I didn't drive at all. So like on the way back, they're like, do you want to drive? And I was like, yeah, let me drive. I could drive. So like I drove for like 30 minutes, and I drove through downtown Atlanta, and as soon as we hit the other side of Atlanta, Dre was like, okay, you're done. And I was like, what? He was like, I hate your driving. You have to stop. So I didn't get drive. And then like he had like sat on like one side in the sun in Florida, so like half his face was completely burnt. And it was like it was the right hand side, right? Yeah. And I remember like stopping at a truck stop, and they had one of those guns that shoots those little plastic discs, right?
Yeah.
And then they had the bonus disc pack right next to it. So I bought like 2 packs and I bought the gun. And when I was riding shotgun, I was kept shooting Dre in the side of the face where it was burnt like for like 150 miles because we were like, that's a relationship we had. I'm like, you're a dick. You wouldn't let me drive. So I'm going to shoot you in the face randomly, for the next 100 miles. And like everyone in the car's like, please, man, he's driving. I'm like, fuck this. We could die. I don't care. Pop, pop, pop. And he's like, I'll fucking kill you. And I'm like, I don't give a shit, Dre. Fuck you, man.
What was wrong with your What was wrong with your driving, by the way? Too slow?
No, it's too aggressive when it was icy because, like, because like I don't know, I'm from Chicago, so I'm used to driving in crappy snowy shit, and like, I was like, this is nothing. I'm like gunning it through, and like, occasionally we might have slid a little bit, and they were like, that's it, we're done. It's like, whatever, man, you guys suck. So yeah, that was like my one spring. Yeah, that was like and I traveled like I've traveled and done spring break stuff like after college, but like during college, that was like the only real official trip I could remember. So
and of course it ends with you see. You go to spring break in Florida, right? And then you come back and you have a freaking like tragedy happen to you on your way back.
Yeah,
you're stuck in a thing. People die, and people are throwing food off a bridge. Like, what the hell?
But the funny thing is that like after that, traffic never bothered me again, right? So like anytime like I get stuck in traffic, I'm just like, well, at least we're not going to die. Like they're just inconvenienced.
I thought you might have just slept the whole 8 hours in the back of the van. I mean, you were already sleeping so much.
Yeah, I could have, but I didn't sleep much on the way back because I was all fired up and I was starting shit, and I was like, I'm just gonna make this as miserable for Dre as possible. So I kept calling him Leatherface too, because like the whole side of his face was burnt. I was like, "Come on, Leatherface, drive faster!" And he's like, "Fuck you, Luke." I'm like, pop, pop, pop. Eat a dick.
Oh man, I've totally completely forgot what we were talking about prior to me asking about spring break. But
I don't know, dude. And the list of things that I had to talk to you about this week are like the dumbest fucking topics I could possibly think of. Right? I mean,
dude,
yeah.
I had a crazy weekend, and Debbie and
you got that saw, right?
Yeah, well, I've been numerous things happened this weekend. I got new tools.
I know it was crazy because we didn't talk almost at all.
I know. I was just super busy all weekend, and
but I did Google, because you told me the story about how you, JR, and Debbie lifted that saw in the back of your truck, right?
Yeah,
yeah. And you said you did it in like the worst way possible. Do you know how much your saw weighs?
I have no idea. I did not research it.
I did.
Okay,
yeah.
Tell me.
And also, I did fucking research for this podcast. It's official. So I Googled how much does a Powermatic weigh, because you have the contractor one, right?
Yeah, the 64B.
How much would you get?
400 pounds. I have no idea.
Oh God, it's not that much. It's 304 pounds.
Okay. I was a little off. 304 pounds. That's dude. It was heavy, man. It was super heavy. So just to fill people in, I went this weekend with Debbie and JR from Trey Studios Woodworking. I was picking up a new table saw, and I picked up a new router table and a new dust collector from a lady whose husband
you hit the lottery.
Yeah, I hit the lottery. A lady
the woodworking lottery.
Yeah.
Where it only costs you a fraction of what it normally would. You don't actually really win that much.
No. I picked up the stuff, and JR came to help me. I got a Powermatic 64B. That's what the saw we're referencing. And it's not the full cabinet saw. It's the which I can even imagine must weigh like 700 pounds. But
I mean, I have the website open. I could check real quick.
Yeah, there you go. And then the one I got is like more of it's not the construction site saw. It's kind of in between. So JR came to help me pick it up, and I was like, it shouldn't be that heavy. It shouldn't be that bad. There's me, you, Debbie. There's 3 of us. We should be able to lift it up in there. And so I backed my truck up, and what is it?
465 pounds for the
Oh,
cabinet saw.
Jesus. This one could
Yeah.
have weighed 500 pounds for all I know. I mean, it was freaking stupid.
Could probably had like 50 pounds worth of dust on it.
No, it's actually beautiful. It doesn't have zero dust, zero. But yeah. So JR gets there, he comes down. I go, it shouldn't be that bad. We roll it to the back because it's on a mobile stand. So we roll it to the back of my truck. The cast iron side obviously is the heavy side. The side with the the wood back or the wood plank on the left side isn't as heavy. So I said, Debbie, you take the side with the wood. Me and JR will take the side with the cast iron. And we go, okay, ready? And we're an idiot. I mean, first off, we're just stupid. How we decided to lift it the first time was from the top, and we tried to lift it all the way up into the back of my tailgate, right? So we go 1, 2, 3. We start lifting it, and we get it like literally 6 inches from where the base of it can just get up and over the top of or get over the tailgate. And we get it there, and we lift it 1, 2, 3. And we go, we lift, and right as we get to that point, both me and JR, we just can't. We can't go anymore. It's not possible. Like we're both like, so like I start to go. I go, all right, let's put it down, and you hear Debbie in the background, put it. You can't put this down. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna crush me. So we try and like lower it down slowly. We get it on the ground again. Thank God it didn't crush Debbie. So then we go to pick it up.
Yeah.
I tell her, I was like, all right, so let's try it again.
This podcast would not be going like it is if you crushed Debbie.
Yes.
How was your week? Well, I crushed my wife, so we've been in the hospital all week.
Jesus. JR was like, luckily I have the week off to recover from this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you permanently damaged him, man. I talked to him. He was like, my back. He's like, talk to Ben. Oh, the one thing he said to ask you is, ask Ben about all the shit that's underneath his workbench.
Oh yeah, we'll get to
or
that.
Behind your workbench. You're like the AWP podcast. They're always like, what's on your bench? We could play what's under your bench.
That would be much better for us.
Yeah, I can tell you what's under my bench. It's not good.
Yeah, the second attempt, we were able to get it up, and we lifted it from the bottom this time because we were actually used our brains, and we lifted it up, and we got it barely over the top. I mean, like literally like an inch over, and we slid it over and got it on, and then able to get it on. But dude, it was
first try.
I did not think we were going to do it. Like, I honestly was like, shit, man, I'm going to have to go try and find a neighbor or somebody to come out here and help us. I did not expect it to be that heavy. We get it home. Luckily, I had 2 neighbors come out and help us get it off the truck, but I was smart this time and I backed it up to the edge of the driveway. And so it was only like a 2-foot drop as opposed to like having to lift it 4 feet up. And so it went down smoother than it went up. I'll just put it to you that way. And the old Delta, I felt like I took to JR's house. I felt like we like lifted that up like it was nothing, man. It was just like whoop, right into the back of the truck. So yeah, I got those, and everything's. I spent like a good 6 hours that night trying to stay up till 3 a.m, basically rearranging my shop and getting it all put in place, and it's good to go now. It's gorgeous. And
so what was under the workbench? Because that's all I care about, dude.
I know. I can see your eyes glazing over right now. You could care less what I'm saying. The workbench. So, okay.
I mean, dude, that story about you lifting a saw is fascinating. But what's under the bench?
So we go to.
You want to hear the weird shit? Get to the weird shit.
We go to take his saw out, right? And we take it out.
I got more dog fart stories to get to. We can't talk about this saw for 40 minutes, bro. Come
on. We pull the saw out. I start to move the table that's behind the workbench or my outfeed table, right? I start to slide it out to make room to start rolling the saw out. And as we're sliding it over, I'm like, oh, I guess I do have a writhing knife. The writhing knife for my saw. The whole unit, the writhing knife, the cover, the bolts to attach it.
All the shit that I asked you about that you said didn't come with your saw, that stuff?
All that stuff. Yeah. Hey, man, what can I say? I mean, I didn't know. I forgot. I'm an idiot. But it's there, and he has it. He's never going to use it, though. He's never going to put it on. I guarantee it. But yeah, that's what I found underneath the bench, and amongst other things.
Way to go, bro. You found a way to make me look smart. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's easy. It's an easy thing to do.
So
yeah, that was that. Got that got the new tools, got them in, and it was a steal, man. I'll tell you what, dude. I came up, and I'm very fortunate. But yeah, that was my adventure this weekend. As far as with that, I was busy all weekend though. I was doing all kinds of stuff. We were at the park with the kids. This is something else I want.
Yeah, I saw you skateboarding, bro. That wigged me out. I was like, why is Ben moving like that? I'm like, he shouldn't be moving like that. I realized you're a skateboarder, and I was like, oh shit, he can really skateboard. I was like, that's an odd talent. I was like, and I was thinking about it later because I was like, I put a t-shirt on while I was peeing, and I was like, maybe this is my talent. I'm like, you know how hard it is to do that and not pee on yourself? Like, come on, dude. It's very challenging.
I know. When you talked to me, you were like, bro, you actually skateboard. I was like, yeah, man, I grew up skateboarding. He's like, but I didn't think that was a talent. I thought you were like every other guy who, dad in their 40s who loses that type of talent throughout their lifetime.
like I think a lot of dads that age are like, I don't want to die again. So, you know.
Believe me. As I was coming down the hill, I was definitely having those thoughts in my mind. Like, okay, the speed wobbles are starting to happen. If I'm videoing, all I could think of is if I do fall, this is going to make great content. You know what I mean?
I mean, you'd have to be, people are going to watch your phone fly and then hear you crying, and it's going to be like, that was amazing.
Oh, dude, that would have been great content. But luckily, you
gotta be, dude. You're over. You're 40, man. You gotta be careful about that shit, man. Like, you fall. Like, it's not the same. It's like I watch the little kids like run and then jump up in the air and land on their knees, and I think to myself, if I did that, I might never walk again. Like,
oh, I guarantee I would never walk again if I did that, dude. That was fucking nuts. Yeah, no, I mean, dude, believe me, I was thinking about it the whole trip, the whole going down. I kept thinking to myself, this is probably not smart. If I fall,
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, exactly. But then as I get down to the bottom, I start having those like, oh, I'm like, I could remember those ocean spray commercials with that guy who was riding the skateboard or the bike. It went viral.
Yeah.
It was a viral video. It was like a viral video, and he was kind of going back and forth, and he had
the ocean spray gave him like a used pickup truck.
Yes. That's what I had. Like all of a sudden, as I'm getting down to the bottom and it's flatland, I start thinking, oh, I'm like that guy in that ocean spray, and I started like shooting the video differently, and I started swaying back and forth. I'm like, this is gonna be my viral moment.
How'd that work out for you?
Not good. No, it did not go viral. Anyway, so I was at that park. We did that. We did the skateboarding. We did that. But prior to that, we set up. Me and Debbie were like, okay, the kids are going to be playing on the playgrounds. We're going to bring our lawn chairs that we bought. These nice chairs. We've had them for about a year now. They were in the backyard. We also brought an umbrella, like a shade umbrella, this thing. And I thought, okay, we're going to be all set up. We're going to be golden. This is going to be great. We're going to be chilling. We brought a picnic. So we sit down, we lay out our stuff, we lay out a blanket, we put the chairs out. I put the umbrella up. We're sitting down. No bullshit. Within like 30 seconds of me sitting down in this chair, I'm sitting there talking to Debbie. All of a sudden, rip! The whole bottom, my seat just fucking rips right out, dude. And I slide picture, like I slide like in half down into the hole. Like
that was your viral moment, bro. What the fuck?
No, dude. So, and Debbie's she's like dying laughing. She thinks it's fucking hilarious, right? And I'm like,
because it probably was.
Yeah. I'm like, motherfucker.
And she didn't think to get out her camera?
No, it happened so fast, dude. It happened like so quick. And so then I grabbed the chair. I was all pissed off, and there was like a metal trash can right over there. So I grabbed the chair and I fucking folded it up and I stuff it in the metal trash can, and I walk back over to her, and she's still laughing at me. Right. And it's, it's a kind of breezy out. It's not super windy, but it's breezy, and we're sitting there. I'm like, fuck it. So I sit down I sit on the blanket while she's sitting on the chair and the umbrellas above us. And all of a sudden, within like a minute of me falling into my chair, a big gust of wind comes, hits the umbrella, flips it backwards, like in half, like it just folded up backwards.
Oh, like okay.
Inside out. It went inside out.
Yeah.
And then it folded back, and then it blew behind us and bent the pole. Like it was just like this massive gust of wind out of nowhere just came, flipped the thing up, and because I think obviously because of the force of it flipping, it bent the pole. So I was like, are you effing serious, dude? Like within like a minute of me losing my chair, we now lose the umbrella. So I grab the umbrella, I fucking bend it in half, run it over, walk over to the trash can, stuff it in the trash can. So now the trash can has my chair and my umbrella, right? Within less than 5 minutes of each other, I've lost two things.
There's an upside to it, though.
What's the upside?
The upside is at least you didn't have to carry it back to the car.
Yes, that's where I was getting to. So then fucking Debbie is sitting there laughing at me. She's laughing at now that I lost my chair. She's laughing now that I lost my umbrella that I was like so excited to bring to keep us shade off us. And I'm just getting pissed, right? I'm like, God, I'm sitting down and she's laughing. And then like literally within 30 seconds of me sitting down, rip, and Debbie fucking goes sinking down into her chair. So let's count. We lost two chairs and an umbrella within literally five or 10 minutes of us sitting down at this fucking park, dude. So
did you bust your camera out and video her?
I grabbed that. I should have. Damn it. I grabbed that chair. I get her out of it first off. I help her out. And then I grab that chair and I fucking fold it up and I walk over and I stuff it in the trash can. Now the trash can has both our chairs and our umbrella. I was like, all right, this is it, dude. We're gonna walk over to the playground where the kids are. There's picnic benches there under a fucking thing. I'm like, we should have just went that route from the very beginning, but we were like trying to be fancy and have fun. And it was a horrible experience, dude. But it was very, very funny.
At least you didn't have to carry that shit back. That's all I keep thinking of. Is like,
it's exactly what Debbie said. Well, at least we don't have to carry all that stuff down. I was like, Jesus, man.
That is. So what day was that?
That was on Saturday. So that was Saturday. Yeah.
So you know what I did on Saturday? This is one of the ones off my list of things I have to tell you this week, and I tried really hard not to tell you anything about it. But my mother-in-law, who and I love my in-laws, so we're clear about this.
First off, hold on. We were talking halfway through the week, and you said, I got funny things to tell you, but I can't tell you. And I said, yeah, I know. And you're like, we need to come up with a safety word. which I thought was hilarious. I was like,
that's our safe word. What was our safe word again?
I said we should use flugelhorn.
Oh yeah, there's no way I'm remembering that.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So my in-laws, they're both retired and they travel, right? So they went with a couple other couples to Mexico, right? And so they come back and they told us like, hey, we bought all these tequilas in Mexico and we want to do a tasting, right? And
yeah.
Tequila tasting sounds fun. So my mother-in-law scheduled it for like 3 p.m. on Saturday, which I was not thrilled about because I'm like, there goes my shop time. But I was like, whatever. Like, I wanted to try the tequila, so it was fine. So I get to her house, right? And she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, wow.
6 tequilas, right? Laid out there, okay?
All different styles, all different like darks, lights, all those different things, or what?
I'm not going to tell you. What I am going to tell you is I'm going to go through the progression that she laid out for us, because I think it's funnier that way. So the first tequila she busts out was a strawberry flavored tequila. Okay. And I'll be honest with you, out of the ones we tried, it could be my second favorite. Okay. And I didn't like it. So kicks it off to strawberry, right? Then she rolls into a coffee flavored tequila where I've had Cafe Patron. It's tasty, but I'm not buying bottles of Cafe Patron. But this was another brand completely. So it tasted like coffee, but it wasn't as strong as the Cafe Patron flavor, right? Definitely that one I like more. So that was tequila number 2. How you go from strawberry to coffee, I didn't ask that question.
Yeah, exactly.
But from coffee, we moved to coconut, right?
Ooh, interesting.
No, it was like a watered down. It tasted like watered down coconut tequila. Like, you know what it kind of tastes like? Like if you made a really nice coconut tequila drink, right? And then
Yeah.
like you got to that last bit of it where it's like half melted with ice, and like
Yeah.
it's not the same flavor. Like that's what it tasted like, right?
Okay.
Okay, that was tequila number 3. Okay, keep in mind there's only 2 more to go. Okay,
So strawberry, coffee, and then coconut.
coconut, right?
All right.
Tequila number 4, Kama Sutra.
That's not even a flavor.
Nope, it was vanilla agave. And it said on there sexy cream, right? I'm like looking at my mother-in-law go, what did you guys do in Mexico? Like, is there more to this story that I need to know? But she said, like, this is how they laid it out for her at the place that she went. And I kept thinking to myself, like, so you just like saw the lineup of these 4 tequilas and you were like, I'll buy them all. We got to have the kids try these. Like they had to be seriously drunk when they seen this.
Yeah.
And then the last one, oh no. The 5th one was Banquet tequila, and it was actual tequila, but it was better than Jose Cuervo, but not by much.
Okay.
And then the last one was Casa Oro, which she had bought locally, but she just added it to the mix, and that was decent.
Wait, not even from Mexico?
No, it was tequila. But the funny thing is, like, we're drinking these things, and Jackie's like looking at the bottles and stuff, and one of the bottles had a Yahoo email address on it. Like, if you want to get a hold of us, hit us up on our Yahoo email address. I was like, and then another bottle had a Gmail address, and I'm like, they don't even have enough money to buy like the corporate like email. Like,
Yeah.
they just are like, fucking just email me at Gmail. It'll be easier. Like I don't know, man. So we get into the car afterwards, and like I look at her and I'm just like, so what'd you think of that tasting there? She was like, oh fucking Lord, Jesus Christ. Like it was rough. I don't know what they were
How much
expecting our reaction to
are
be.
you drinking? How much are you drinking when you do a tasting?
It's like maybe a third of a shot glass. So
okay.
But we did mix the strawberry with the coconut one and added more tequila, and that was a decent drink. Like it was like a decent tequila drink. I was like, we gotta do like
you mixed two and
together.
mixed 2 and added better tequila to them.
Yeah, basically.
And that fixed it. That fixed it. All right. But did you guys? I mean, you didn't drink enough to get a buzz on or anything?
No,
was it?
No, because like we didn't. The kids were sleeping at my parents' house that weekend, and we were basically like, hey, like we love you guys, but we want to go home because we want to go get our non-kid time in. So
I got you.
Yeah.
So wait, it was not an intention. This wasn't we're going drinking. This was literally a tasting. Like it was an official. Like you're just sampling a few things. And
plus, I didn't want to drink any more of that. So like, I'm not going to help her finish that. Like, decisions were made. Like, you got to like own up to what you decided. So that's your tequila. I'm like, and no, we don't want to take any home. That Kama Sutra left a mouthfeel that was just unpleasant. It was like a bitter tasting vanilla that it was the consistency of like Pepto-Bismol, dude. It was thick. It was very thick.
That's not something that sounds refreshing by any means.
And I'm like, is this technically a liqueur? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't even taste like shit. So, yeah. But then we went home, and I ended up having to sit through like 2 episodes of the Real Housewives because even though we have opportunities to watch multiple televisions, we always watch together. And
yeah.
So I get wrapped. Do you do that where like Debbie has her shows, but you end up watching them just because like it's like whatever, I don't fucking care. I'll just sit here while you're watching them, kind of a thing.
Not usually, because usually Debbie goes to bed because she gets up early for work. I mean, I get up early too, but she needs her sleep, like her 8 hours or whatever. So she'll go to bed early a lot, and she'll watch stuff like you're talking about, her shows in there. And then when
in bed or in
bed, she'll like go to bed. She doesn't go straight to bed. She'll go to her room and like hang out for like a little while and then go to bed. You know what I mean? Like
Gotcha.
she that's like her time to
She likes to
decompress and
turn the
whatnot.
TV off and immediately fall asleep.
Yeah.
I respect that. We've tried the TV in the bedroom thing before. It's not a bad deal. I just haven't gotten it together. So
you guys don't have a TV in bed, like in your bedroom?
no, and really, we never have. Yeah, in this house we only have one TV. Yeah.
Oh wow. I mean, we have 3. We have because I have the
Wow.
living room TV. Yeah, big
Fancy.
baller over here. Big baller over here. I feel like
3 televisions.
Do you
What are you,
remember
Rockefeller?
Do you remember Back to the Future when he first gets hit by the car and he goes into his mom's parents'
Oh
house?
yeah.
And they're sitting at the table and he's like, "We just got a new TV," and they're like, "You have a TV?" He's like, "Yeah, we have 2 of them," and he stops, like kind of like catches himself, like because like he realizes, this is the 50s. Nobody has 2 TVs. You know what I mean? Like he's like, "Yeah, we have 2 of them," and they're like, "You have 2 TVs?"
Yeah. We only have one, but it's 75 inches in 4K.
Oh, there you go. You have that's like the biggest TV you can possibly have, probably.
I could probably fit an 85 incher there, but anyways, yeah.
So yeah, no, Debbie watches it at night, but you said you only have one TV, so I guess you're stuck watching stuff with her. You know what I mean? Like you have no choice, really.
I mean, so she and it's like we do this thing to each other though, where it's like whoever gets to the couch first gets to pick the first thing, kind of a thing. It's like an unwritten rule we have. So like if I come strolling down there because I was putzing around in my office or something, dude, she's got that. And it's funny, like she only watches the reunion episodes, right? So like she doesn't actually watch the whole seasons because she's like, I don't want to.
Is that when they bring multiple cast members from multiple shows together for one type of show? Is that what you're talking about?
No. That's where they bring the whole cast together back and they sit like on a studio set.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then they talk about the whole season. But like
a
now,
recap. Got you.
Now that's like 4 episodes long. Like they don't even do it as like a 1 episode recap thing. It's like 4 episodes. So, and it's like there's Real Housewives of everywhere. So like if you add up all those 4 episode things, like it's more than like a normal season of a normal show. I mean, it's
yeah.
Like I mean, based on how many reunion shows that she's watched, there has like Real Housewives of wherever must never take a break, right? So
yeah, no, they're printing money, man. You got to keep that thing going.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's like in Basketball Wives and like, would she watch one that was these African rich celebrities, and it's like I don't know. She really likes these shows and like, but it's fine because if I make it down there first, I'm watching YouTube woodworking videos. So I'm like,
you'll put those on and she'll watch those with you.
Well, she'll like look at her phone. Sometimes she watches them. Sometimes she's like, oh, that's interesting.
Huh.
But like, it's like, well, you made me sit through Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like you could enjoy 20 minutes of Mike Alm making this elevator coffee table. So
see, that's so funny. I would never watch that stuff in the house because I know nobody's interested in it. Whatever. Like that's why I have my shop TV. You know what I mean? I watched all the YouTube stuff out here because Debbie would be like, nope. Even though she's not like she enjoys that stuff still, but she's just like, I don't want to watch it. Like I'd rather watch reality television because she's like big into reality television. I hate reality television. I'm not a fan of it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
I like it. There's a lot of reality television. Certain shows, yeah, like Love Is Blind. Oh my god, I fucking love that show.
I know we've talked about that. I just can't get into it, man.
Love Is Blind. I'm still watching Cutthroat Kitchen. I love Cutthroat Kitchen. It's like random reality shows, like there's a couple car ones that are on like Netflix I watch.
I liked the picker ones. Like those are the only ones that I really enjoyed. Like the Vegas, the
American Pickers or the Pawn Stars.
Yeah, I can watch those ones because she likes watching those also. Those ones don't bother me, but I just can't get into the reality ones where they're just like arguing and yelling at each other and like it's just a bunch of stupid drama. Like I just can't do it.
Dude, I did. That reminds me though. I did have on my list of things to tell you is I had a business idea for us. I wanted to tell you about.
Let's hear it, man. I'm all about making money.
Yeah, it's called Only Hams. Like it's only fans, but only hams. It's just pictures of cured meats. That's it. It's a subscription where you get paid to take pictures. You get paid to look at pictures of cured meats, like charcuterie boards.
I know. Our Patreons would be totally into that, dude. We should start.
Join our Only Hams page.
Dude, Kyle has inundated me with food porn over the last week or two, and so like I am now. He's like worn me down. I'm now following the same pages.
The beardo weirdo guy. He sent me like 200 times. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll never be a skinny man.
No. Speaking of TV, real quick, because we were just talking about it. Did you hear about or see the Oscars this week? Did you hear about
where Will Smith slapped Chris Rock? I don't know anything. Look, the only article I've seen that wasn't about Chris Rock slapping or Will Smith slapping Chris Rock was it was like, oh, by the way, Samuel Jackson won his first Oscar this weekend, and I was like, oh shit, that's cool. And it's like him and Denzel hugging it out.
Yeah.
But no, the Will
Smith, which is crazy to me, right?
Not really. He's only been in awesome movies, and awesome movies never get Oscars. So, but no,
he's so talented. Like, you would have expected him by now to have won an award like that. You know what I mean? Like it blows me away that he hasn't. I'm glad he did.
Yeah, it's good for him. But yeah, Chris Rock getting slapped was pretty funny. So,
dude, the freaking I was sitting here with Debbie, and we didn't watch it, but it was immediately after it happened. It freaking was all over the internet, right? I mean, all the Japanese TV stations, Australian TV stations that don't censor their stuff, were putting it out directly. Like, because I talked to people who were watching the actual Academy Awards, and they said if you were watching it here in the US, like you saw him make the joke, you saw Will laugh, and then you saw him walk up on stage. And then you saw him slap him, but then as soon as he slapped him, it cut out. They like cut the feed, and then it went like immediately cut to like Chris Rock like kind of wrapping up the wrap up part. They didn't show any of the Will Smith yelling at him. They didn't show any of that stuff on the actual feed. So yeah, but dude, that was crazy, man. Like,
you know, the way they showed it too, it seemed like that Will Smith was laughing about it, and the next thing you know, he slapped the shit out of him. And it's like the way it seemed is like he thought Chris Rock was funny, and then he looked at his wife, and his wife was not amused, and then he was like, "Oh God, I gotta go slap the shit out of Chris Rock right now."
It was completely blown out of proportion, man. Like, it was funny. I thought it was funny, anyways. I mean, fucking,
getting slapped like that. You get slapped like too. It doesn't really hurt as much as it just startles you.
No, and he was like, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. That's what he said.
Look, I've seen Will Smith. Do you remember? Chris Rock is not the first person Will Smith has slapped.
No, I don't remember. When was that?
Camera. There was an interview. You could Google it, but there's an interview where the reporter, the guy, like was talking to Will Smith, and then he turned and tried to kiss him. And then Will Smith like pushed him off and then slapped him in the face and like, interview's over. Don't you dare try to kiss me.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So he's got a history of slapping people.
I mean, we all got shit in our, slap some shit on some reporters and Chris Rock. You know.
I just thought it was hilarious, man. Like, I mean, you take for granted that you think that these, like, all these guys are friends, right? Like, you assume that all these big name actors know each other, or, you know, they're all in the same crowd or same group. And then, you know, next thing you know, boom.
See, I didn't assume most of these dudes are friends. I know how competitive Hollywood is. And like, I know they all secretly hate each other. Like, they're like, oh, you got that role, I didn't. You got that opportunity, I didn't. You know.
I guess so. I mean, I guess that makes sense. That does make sense.
Maybe some of them are friends, but I think a lot of them are just like, no, screw you,
Yeah,
And I
I don't
don't
know.
know who's more successful, Chris Rock or Will Smith. I want to say Will Smith.
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, Chris Rock is definitely top of his game as far as comedians go for the last 20 years or something. And he's sold, sells sells out huge venues and whatnot and made tons of movies. But Will Smith is he was like a mega movie star for decades. You know what I mean? So
he has franchises.
like
Chris Rock gets to play along next to Adam Sandler.
I was gonna say he's in Adam Sandler movies. Let's be real, which are great movies and stuff. And the parts are great, but yeah, Will Smith was a major movie star for decades. So.
And he had the musical career before that.
Oh yeah, and obviously, and then the TV career before that,
the
music,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air alone puts him in the running for that show's still on television.
What did Chris Rock have on his face the next morning after the Oscars?
I don't know. What did he have on his face?
Fresh Prince.
Well played. I hope this was all set up for that joke because that was great. That's fucking awesome. Way to go, dude.
Yeah, man, that was a long build for that.
You just peaked. So I do have one more story that I was going to tell you about. I know I alluded to it when we were talking earlier, and you thought it was so funny that you're like, stop talking about it.
Yes.
And do you remember what it was?
I don't, not off the top of my head.
Do you remember me talking about my CPAP machine? I don't know if you know how a CPAP machine works, right? But with sleep apnea, it basically keeps the pressure in there, right, with air, okay? But it's sucking air into the machine, filtering it, humidifying it, and then blowing it into your nose, right? That's the way my machine
so that's the idea. Yeah, got you.
Yeah, so I was having this problem with it where Elvis would sleep underneath my CPAP machine, right? Or right next to it.
Yeah.
And I used to sometimes I get woken up to him farting and it getting sucked into the machine and power pressure blown into my nose. And like, I was just, the reason I was thinking about it is I was like, when especially when we were talking about Debbie going to sleep, I was like, oh yeah, man. I'm like, nothing's worse than waking up to a fucking fart being power pumped into your nose. Cause you get I'd say 90% of the fart makes it into your nostrils, right? Which is way more than you would normally get. It gets distributed through the room, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but instead it gets immediately from his butt sucked up in the air into the machine. Fortunately, there is a little filter there, so maybe any poo particles get filtered out, which would be nice. Good. Yeah. But then it gets humidified. And then
it's wet. It makes it wet.
It's moist. And it's warm, right? And it's an experience I have a hard time describing, other than unpleasant.
It's concentrated too, right? It's like a concentrated. It's because it's gross.
It's like bottled farts that bottled dog farts. Which, if anybody's in the market for that, I have a factory here that I can distribute anytime.
You were telling me that Jackie you would wake up in the middle of the night and be freaking out, and Jackie would be like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?"
Yeah, are you choking to death? They're like, no, fucking Elvis farted, and then she'd be like, it's not fucking funny. It's just and it's not like dogs just fart once and that's it, right? It's like he farts and then he farts again and he farts again, and
oh my goodness,
I can't kick him out of the room, otherwise he'll stand at the door crying. So it's like. And
could you move the machine to the other side of the bed? I mean,
I moved the dog bed. I had to move the dog bed.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I kept getting blasted with the farts, right? They don't when you give you the machine, they don't really give you a lot of instruction, and they don't explain to you things like, hey, and if your dog has horrific gas, don't let him sleep underneath the machine, otherwise you're going to get violently woken up, which is going to disturb your sleep cycle. That's the goal is that I get good sleep, and getting power blasted is just you could taste it in your mouth because it gets pushed into your nose and
Yeah.
like it just goes everywhere. You just like blow out of your mouth like I just spit all over my microphone. But it's like you blow out. It's just like, oh god, because like it's a weird experience. Like when you first get it, like the one I have just goes over my nose, and like
Yeah.
somehow it like the pressure of it kind of locks your lips together. Like you could, it's not like you can't unlock your lips, right? But if you're
Oh,
just
okay.
sitting there, with your mouth shut, your mouth doesn't, for whatever reason, doesn't generally open up.
Yeah.
So it was a pressure, and like when you open your mouth up, the air goes in your nose and like kind of shoots out your mouth, right?
Oh,
It's
okay.
really weird, and it's hard to talk. So like but it's just taking a ride down your taste buds as it's on the way out, which is just
It makes me wonder: is it worth not living?
I mean, yeah,
I'm saying-
dying or sucking in dog farts. I mean, it's a hard decision, man. Like, you probably get rid of the dog. To be honest with you, I mean, I love him, but like, bye, dude. Like, you fucking no more farting in my mouth. Like, it's like, like I live in a fart rich environment. Like Ellie, like fucking loves farting. She thinks it's hilarious. Bubs has never held in a fart in his entire life, and he eats like garbage nonstop. So like he's just like kid fart at one after another, which kid farts are like dog farts except noisier. And then and then I fart a lot, and then my wife just holds them in until they become until they what they do to like take things and they like turn it into dust, right? Like turn like gases. You know what
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the term right now.
I can only imagine that's what happens to hers because she rarely lets them out.
Or does she leave the room often when you're not paying attention? Like, does she sneak out? Like,
no. But like when she does let him go, she always has a surprised look on her face, and like it's kind of like since it doesn't appear that often, it's really a statement piece.
Does your daughter? Is she like all about it? Like she'll like.
Oh yeah.
She highlights it. She makes
Yeah.
it into like Penny's not that way. Penny like tries to play it off. You know what I mean? She's it'll fart and like I'll be like, "Did you just fart?" She'll be like, "What? No, it wasn't me."
No, Ellie will walk up and be like, and be like, or no, she'll be like, "Hey, Dad, guess what?" I'll be like, "What?" She's like, I'm like, "Oh, shit."
She's got your personality big time, man. That's so funny.
Like my wife's always like, "That shit's not funny, Ellie. Stop it." And I'm always like, "You got to work on your timing, sweetheart. Like this is not the right time." So my wife hates that. She's like, look, if you're gonna fart for comedic effect, you got to read the room, sweetheart. You can't like just lean into it and then ask people if it was funny or not. Like you gotta learn when to do it. And she's been working on it because sometimes she's just really her timing is hilarious, and like then my wife will like yell at her. And then she'll like look at me and be like, "But Dad, how was my timing? Like it was funny, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was fucking hilarious." But like, again, you have to read the room because your mom doesn't find that funny. Like, if it's just you, me, and your brother, like that shit's hilarious. No, I was gonna say like she did have that fart in Denver that changed our day. So like,
yeah, I was gonna say it seems like she's always looking to you for that reassurance of if it's funny or not. You know what I mean? Like she's like, if Dad thinks it's funny, I'm golden. You know what I mean?
Well, it's her consolation prize. It's like, well, I know this isn't right, and I did get yelled at, but was it funny? Right? I don't know. I think that like she does pick up too much of what I'm saying because like the other day, like Jackie was annoyed with me and yelling at me, and I'm like, and she's just like just clearly bothered by whatever I did. I can't even remember, and I just like looked at her and I go, I like it when you get like this, right? And she was like, "Stop it!" She's like, "It's not fucking funny," and I was like, "It is." I'm like, don't stop. She's like, seriously, you're being an asshole. Like, fucking, you need to listen to me. Be serious for a second. I'm like, how serious do you want me to get? She's like, stop it.
We got to get out of here. All right. So I got a couple shout outs, or actually I got one shout out this week. And
okay.
Before we get to our Patreons. So my shout out this week goes to JR from Trey_Studios_woodworking, and it's not for the reason you assume it's for, because I assume you think it's
you got his
for
back
the
replacement.
saw.
Oh no.
I'm giving him a shout out because last week on Thursday we did a takeover of the In the Shop Live podcast, or In the Shop Live thing on Instagram that we do on Thursday nights, and we did a joinery podcast takeover of that.
We
did a
that.
test version of our game show. We did one test version we did one contest of the screw challenge, and the game's called Screw You, and it was who can screw in 4 3-inch screws into a 2x4 the fastest, and we timed it, and JR won the contest that night. He get 17 seconds was his record.
Yeah, he could really drive them screws.
That was my shout out for that, and because he kicked the shit out of me, man. I was at like minute 30.
Oh yeah, dude, I had the second slowest time, so that's fine. Dude, we're gonna do this contest. We're gonna do this game show, and we're gonna be like the dead weight that everybody has to drag along with them.
I know. So anyway, that's my shout out for this week.
That was
JR, congratulations on that, and you got a new table saw this week. So boom, there you go.
Yep. All right. My shout out. I'm gonna go with Keith Decent. I don't know if you're familiar with Keith or not.
I know Keith.
Was chatting with him the other day about some stuff. He is an unbelievable maker, and he always does like whatever he finds interesting. And he's been making these rugs lately that are all like melting popsicles, and they're, oh my God, he's wildly talented. I don't know if I've talked about him before. And then the other one I want to give a shout out to somebody who I still can't believe his account has not blown up, is Grant from Dad Crafted. I don't know if you know Grant or not.
Yes, I know. I don't know Grant personally, but I know the account.
He is like whenever like I have Star Wars stuff that I send to people, he's always on my short list. Like he likes Star Wars even more than I like Star Wars. He makes a lot more Star Wars stuff than I do. So but he's a really nice dude, and he does pretty well on YouTube, but on Instagram he's kind of like Burke, or like he has a decent following on YouTube, but like the Instagram is just like, it just hasn't clicked yet for whatever reason or not. But he's always got his kids and stuff, and I found him because he made a Mandalorian Razor Crest sled and dressed up like the Mandalorian and went sledding. And I'm like, this is so damn cool. And
that's awesome.
And like, still, he does not get any love from Instagram. So yeah, so hopefully you guys should check him out. He definitely deserves it. Man's working hard and he's having fun. So that's what I go for. Okay. And then we got Patreon. And I'm going to go again in chronological order. Kyle Foote from Footwork Woodworks, Matthew Gerard from the Wooden Mustache. Turns out he's not bald. Lee Oman, Mike
Oman,
Broken Lead Woodworks, which I kind of want to ask him why his lead's broken, but Dave Wirt from Rustic Joy, my mom, Wama Gelman, Tim Greenwood, the voice behind our intros and outros, and our newest Patreon is Dave the Thriller Miller from D Miller Designs or some shit like that. He's got a beard like a push broom. It's amazing.
That's a great fucking description. A beard like a push broom. Dave the Thriller Miller. Oh, I love it,
dude. Even with a last name like that, you guys always walk around and be like, it's Miller time.
Oh yeah. Dude, seriously, thank you guys so much for supporting us. We really appreciate you guys. And, if you guys want to be a Patreon and support our podcast and help us grow, there's a link in the bottom of every episode. Feel free to check the link, click on that, and go over there and pick your tier that you want to support us at. We got like 3 or 4 tiers that you can choose from. And we really appreciate you guys. And we'll be doing special things for our Patreons here coming up in the near future. We already had our first hang, which was awesome, last week or a week before, which was great. It was so much fun. We had a great time. So do that. If you want to be a Patreon and support us, go check out that link. Also, guys, if you guys could do us a favor and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, as well as you can leave us a 5-star review on Spotify. On Apple, you can actually write us out a review, and if you actually write out a review, we will read it live on our podcast. So
did we get any
if
reviews?
you want to do that, we have one more review, but it was from my wife, so I didn't really count it. I
What'd
can
she
read
say?
It says simply hilarious, 5 stars. Thanks for making me laugh when I am commuting. The stories are very relatable and have me chuckling all the way to work. Good job, fellas. And that's from my wife, Crazy Deb. And
Did she give us 5
so,
stars?
yeah, 5 stars.
Oh,
5
nice.
stars. Yes.
Do you think in real life she would rate you 5 stars?
Oof. I don't think so, bro.
Dude, I would be thrilled if my wife gave me like 3.5 stars. I'd be like, fuck yeah.
I think that's about right. 3.5. That's probably good. A little better than average.
I don't want to be more than 4.
Yeah. Feel free, if you guys could, leave us a review. That'd be great. We'd really appreciate you guys. And then the only other thing we ask is that you guys share this thing, man. You guys have been awesome at it, by the way. We've been getting a ton of shares throughout the week after we post the episodes. So just keep it up. Keep sharing. We want to get this thing out to the whole world, man. So get it out there.
Confront somebody about our podcast this week. Are you listening to The Jointery? If not, I will kick you in the balls and punch you in the face. That's appropriate.
Physical violence. That's what we promote here.
Will Smith did post that he's like, violence is not the answer. But I am saying that violence could be the answer if applied correctly. So go after it.
All right, guys. Dude, thank you so much. We love you. We will be back next week with another episode.
All right, Tim. Take it away. Balls!
This has been a ConMan creative production. Text us anytime at 908 768 2664 or send us a message on our Instagram, The Jointery Podcast. You can find Ben at Conderosa Creations or Luke at Luke in the Garage, everywhere that social media is sold. That's garage, not garage. Say it properly.